Hi, I'm Peter Knight. I want to talk this morning about how you use your arms. And I want to show you a drill that's going to help you massively to understand what we mean by allowing a golf club to swing. The way we're going to do that is by using one hand. So if I hold the club, say just in the fingertips of my right hand, and just move my arm backwards and forwards, the club is going to swing around my fingertips. Now, I'm not going to hold the club like that, of course, when I'm swinging to hit a golf ball, but the idea is the same in that I want a loose, free hinge motion. And as the club goes back and through, it's going to trail my arm when I change direction. When I move back toward the ball, the club is now trailing my arm. And you can see it catches up. That's just a natural swinging motion because my arm movement, my arm speed and the club speed are different. A really good drill to start to get the hang of this is to practice swinging one-handed, but there are a few things that I want to go through so that you make this more effective and make it a little bit more like what you would do when you've got two hands on the club. So the first one, as the club swings back and through, first of all, we'll just make small movements, and it doesn't matter if your hand comes away from the club a little bit at the end of the backswing. And as I move my arm down and forwards, I'm not going to do anything with my hand. But as my club swings down, the angle between my right arm and the shaft of the club starts to open up. Now, when that opens up, it causes my arm to begin to slow a little. And of course, as my arm begins to slow, it then allows the club to move more quickly. So I'm timing that movement so that I can, one, get the optimal speed or maximum speed that I want on the club head at impact. And secondly, I can get the club to strike the ground where I intend to, where the ball is. So first of all, I just swing the club back and through, and note that as I do that, my body's unlocked and it's moving with the swinging of the club. I'm not making my body do anything. In other words, I'm not thinking, oh, I need to lead the movement with my body because if I do, I'm likely to get out of sync. So for the moment, I'm just letting it swing nice and freely. I can also do that with a golf ball, and again, not a big swing, and I'm just playing with that swinging motion as I go back, and as I go through, I can hit the ball. When you do that, notice whether or not your hand becomes active during the movement. Ideally, it won't. Now, here's a couple of things that we can follow, which is going to make it, like I said, more like a full swing. The first is that at the start, my arm's in front of my chest. In fact, it's even a little bit forward of the center line of my body. When I swing the club back, what a lot of players will do when they first do this drill is they'll swing their arm back and their chest doesn't move very much. Now, of course, that's not really representative of what happens in the golf swing. By the time my arm's at this point, normally my upper body has rotated quite a bit. So as the club goes back, allow your upper body to turn with that movement. So my arm is really not moving independently very much at all. It is going to lift a little bit, and it is going to move across my body a little bit, but not much. So now I'm starting to not only get the feel of sinking the arm and the club, but also how that works with my upper body. So club swings back and through, my upper body turns with the movement. That's the first thing. The second thing is that as the club goes back, I want to allow my right elbow to fold. So at the start of the swing, and again, this is very common when players look to do this drill, is they'll just go back and keep their arm quite straight, maybe even keep their wrist quite straight. And again, not representative of a golf swing. So as the club goes back, my arm will bend, but it'll only bend to about 90 degrees at the end of the swing. So as we can see from the side here, my elbow's bent roughly 90 degrees. So they're two key things in the backswing. From there, the movement's pretty easy, just allowing my body to move down and through, but it's getting rid of the manipulative movement, swinging down and through, the temptation to use the hand to try and hit at the ball, that's the strongest temptation to overcome. Maybe it's easier for me because I'm naturally left-handed, even though I play golf right-handed. But most right-handed golfers are right-handed people or right-hand dominant people, and so they'll tend to want to use that right hand even more. What you can also do, just to make this drill a little bit simpler, is put the ball just on a low tee, and it gives you a bit of a margin for error. So when you swing through, you're not having to contend so much with the possibility of mishits. It does take a little bit of practice, and most of that practice is getting the feel of everything syncing together and not having that manipulation. So again, as the club goes back and through, small amount of movement and not a big swing. And when you do it, use a club. I've got a 9-iron here. So use a club that's got a bit of loft on it. So maybe a pitching wedge, 9-iron, or perhaps an 8-iron, or something like that. Do this drill just with the right hand, and as you practice, notice how your body, your arm, and your club sync together. Notice how the club will swing freely around your wrists without you having to manipulate it. If you practice that movement and then put both hands on, and again, just making a little swing, try and incorporate the things that you practice with one hand the same when you put two hands on the club. And you might notice some differences in what you would normally do, and I'm sure they're going to be benefits for you.